The main issue there, I think, is where the content is originating from and what network you're delivering that OTT service over. So if it's a telco who's got an OTT offering to their subscribers on net, then yes, you can offer them full 4K, you can offer them whatever they want. If you're, let's take Netflix, if you're Netflix and you're offering 4K Lite over the public internet, are your subscribers going to be as happy as that person watching it on a on-net subscriber? I think that's where I think whether it will change the model completely or whether it will drive the competition, but I think that's where the service providers and local content providers have a big tool in their armory to combat people like Amazon and Netflix, like we talked about right at the beginning, because you've got on-net subscribers, you know that, okay, this customer is paying X amount a month, they've got fiber to the home, they want something at 30 megabits per second, our infrastructure can support that, bang, there you go, you've got a dedicated stream to your house.
And do you think service providers can continue to provide a service that's good enough and priced aggressively enough that I won't simply go to a broadband provider who says, I can give you FTTH or I can give you some kind of super broadband. And that's kind of the end of the story, because then everything will be great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, and I think the bigger operators, they're the ones who are best equipped. Obviously, they've got more subscribers, they've got the larger networks, greater reach. And for them, if they get an extra percentage increase in people watching on demand or OTT services across their network, if you've got 1 million subscribers and you're getting 1 or 2% uplift, that's a significant amount of revenue you could be making every month, which will drive, again, your CapEx investments in new technology, additional capacity, everything else. If you're a small telco with 10,000 subscribers, it's going to be really tough.
The key is, I think, again, going back to cloud DVR functionality, when you implement those services in a purely virtualized environment in the cloud, the resources are much more deterministic. So you will be less dependent on your pipe, if you will. And so that's the key there in the future, is that if you can manage your resources and with whatever the consumer how they will decide to consume it, that's going to be much better than just the broadcast of internet. Like it's almost it's at that stage. But when you go fully virtualized in the cloud, that's going to be a completely different story, because you will transcode just when you need it. Right, that's going so, and maybe you won't keep a copy. You're just watching it once, and all those models are going to change the usage of the bandwidth drastically.
But you still have to have. It's fine. We could put everything in the cloud.
Yeah, you still to have.
But you
some
still
kind
have
of
to have
connection.
a physical means of delivering that to a subscriber.
But I think it's the peaks that are and the variations that are going to smooth out much more in that model.
Steve. Is that the answer? I mean, if I virtualize everything in the cloud, I'm not saying it doesn't matter what bandwidth I've got, but it matters a lot less.
Yes and no. It depends which sort of side of the equation you approach that from. If you're looking at it from a distributor perspective, I've got the content, I want to get it out there. You want to be in control in terms of quality of some part of your production process, so what you output is of high enough quality for what your users are paying for and your brand positioning. Which pieces of that you want to control because that's your core competence, and which pieces you want to outsource and use. Cloud services with a service provider. Yeah, here's my video. On the fly, turn it into 15 variations and store one of them and caption this one and do that and have API-driven workflows. I think those are important, and I think from that side of the equation, there's more and more emphasis on cost control. There's more and more emphasis on the economics of what should I keep in storage? What should I store? Where should I store it? So if we go back to the earlier conversation of the recommendation engines, I think there's a subtlety occurring. The recommendations that are being put forward because the content distributors, so a Netflix or an Amazon, have paid for access to some content. They want to promote it. They don't want to keep everything everywhere all the time because it's a very expensive business. You don't want to keep your long tail in every single country all the time because no one watches it.
So where are my servers?
Right. So you have to control those pieces, and they're either through a CDN partner who's got those cloud services, or you instruct and work with a number of cloud service providers to bring it all together at delivery point. So that's really complex, and the workflows are complex, and there are many of them. But it's essentially, at the point of delivery, do I have the right quality at the right time? Is the latency, if it's not really popular and it's a long tail piece of content, Gardener's World from 15 years ago, is the latency acceptable?
Does it matter?
Well, is the user going to, because they're choosing something that's really long tail, going to stick with it through more rebuffers? Or are they going to expect it to be just as good as the linear, very popular short tail content? And so there's a lot of pieces in there. And then there's the expectation from a telco OTT provider, online usage of gaming, software downloads, the Internet of Things and my thermostat in my house, and video is just set to grow and grow and grow and grow. So the challenge is having a quality of service orientation so that the video gets delivered at the right bit rate that people are consistently happy with, and it's going to be a consistent delivery, while also my 15-year-old son is downloading the new Xbox game at the same time. And how does that work? How do the carriers handle those boundaries and those bandings, and how does the scale of the CDNs work as well, and where's the capacity limiting factor in both the bandwidth, the connectivity, the distribution of the edges, and the storage? So it depends how you approach it, but it's in a scale game, and it's about efficiency.
This new deal between Cisco, which has been the great proselytizer of the cloud of clouds, and Ericsson with its mobile network provision. Presumably this is a move to, for you to be able to say now kind of global soup to nuts, if you want to provide content, we can deliver it in any format to anybody at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Ericsson deal is around bringing together the mobile network and Cisco's IP heritage, and also what we're doing today. But the other thing that we accept is there are many clouds. We talk about the cloud. There are many clouds, and so making sure that there are open standards between those clouds, that those clouds can communicate and work effectively together. There is going to be no single dominant cloud, so we have to be able to make sure that our customers can work with their partners, and that they can take advantage of the significant infrastructure that's already out there.
We still have several different streaming formats for different devices, and so the cloud has to convert into various different things before it goes out. I mean, there's no chance that's going to change, really, is there? Because it's just too entrenched in the marketplace in terms of different streaming.
As I mentioned, all these 7 or more formats are not very well suitable for TV delivery, for live delivery, and even not very suitable for video delivery. So these things will change. So we will get some new things, new technologies for TV delivery. And of course, I believe in that cloud technologies will be very important. But when we were talking about 4K delivery, with 4K coming and already in place, we see this problem with internet TV delivery. So with 4K, you will need to be even more closer to the subscriber to guarantee the bandwidth, to guarantee the bitrate needed for 4K. And we see this on-demand services like Netflix having problems with this, with bitrate. And today's CDNs are not so much ready for delivering 4K with good quality. And we at Carvo create this multi-pipe technology, which we are demonstrating in all these shows, of delivering 4K content all over the world live via open internet.